That's us, folks, recording in progress. Good morning, everyone, and happy Easter to you. What a special time of year for all Christians, but I think for us in Unity in particular, because the Easter and the story of the resurrection has not only the literal meaning, the story that we all grew up with, but the metaphysical meaning that I think is absolutely transcendent. And I'm going to sing about that today. I was telling Dawn that she's very busy this week, and I said, yes, I had two songs that demanded to be written. And it's true. The process of writing songs for me is a very strange one. Sometimes I've written songs here on Saturday night that I've sung on Sunday morning because I wasn't moved until that moment to do. I could have done something else, but that moment. But this week that didn't happen. In fact, it was last week. The first one of these tunes started to dig away at me, and so some songs you control them, and other songs they control you, and this is one. Anyway, as I said, Easter has a very special meaning, and you're going to hear me refer throughout my parts of the show today, of the service today, to the Word. The Word. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. And I'm going to ask you when we get to the choruses, I'll be up here. There are the parts in bold. I'm going to ask you to join me, if you would. It'd be nice to have us all sing it together. And this is one look at the story of Easter and what it means and should mean to us. Stone is moved, the tomb betrayed, cannot hold us here. We rise above our lonely selves to the universal sphere. This Easter morning, we rise above our fears. The word made flesh is spoken, it's up to us to hear. Darkness of that bloody hill, the day that hid the sun, have all been swept away and left the light for everyone. And on this Easter morning, we rise above our fears. The word made flesh is spoken, and it's up to us to hear. Easter is a story far beyond the cross, that each of us is a part of God, and He is part of us. This Easter morning, we rise above our fears. The word made flesh is spoken. It's up to us to hear. Knew that He would rise again, that if not His alone. Resurrection's more than flesh and blood, and rolling back the stone. He speaks to the reality of who we're meant to be. We are God and He is us, and in Him we see. Message rings across the years, though some choose not to hear. They say it makes no difference now, the world is lost to fear. The story lives in hearts and minds, and promises and prayers. The word is heard throughout the world, oft on the air. The word is come, Hosanna to the message that brings, that the promise of eternity from every dust brings, that the spark of God eternal in everybody sing. The word is come, Hosanna to the message that He brings. This Easter morning, rise above our fears. The word faithless is spoken, and it's up to us to hear. We have to hear the message of the word. We have to hear the message of the word, of the word. Thank you. Problem in there, but I'll explain that to you in a minute.
Problem? There was a problem? We had a little problem following the words, but the chorus was easy. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Unity of London here at 501 Nelson Street in beautiful downtown London, Ontario, Canada. We've got almost a full house, a lot of nice shiny people. It looks like we've all given up the hat thing on Easter Sunday. And that's okay, because we don't have to worry about having hat head. Good morning to everybody on Zoom, and howdy doody to anyone watching us later on our beautiful YouTube channel. We're so grateful everyone has joined us. Anyone in the audience, if you have one of these devices in your pocket or purse or beside you, we'd appreciate it if you would turn down your ringer tone and your notifications so that we can intently listen to what Spirit has to say to us today. Oh, and let's keep sliding down. Anyway, so welcome to Unity of London and our vision. So we'll take a few moments and affirm the vision that Unity of London shares with almost all unities worldwide, and that we see a world powerfully transformed through the growing movement of shared spiritual awakening. And our mission to realize that vision here in London is co-creating with Spirit to transform lives through shared spiritual awakening. And how do we do that? Well, by being a loving and inclusive, supportive community, believing that we are all one. And Jim's song said that very well, that God is in us and we are in God. We are all made of the same essence. And it's our egos, our error beliefs, and our fears that make us think of separation and that we are not all one. You can believe what you want. We are. We like to promote self-expression, encouraging and inspiring each person to be the best me they can be, and also living the 5 unity principles based on the fact that we do believe there is only one presence and one power active in the universe and in my life, and it is God, and it is good. And if you don't like the word God, that's okay. You can use divine mind. You can use spirit. Call him Peter, Paul, or Mary, Bob, Sam. But remember, it is good. The second principle is that our essence is of God. Therefore, we are all inherently good. This God essence called the Christ was fully expressed in Jesus. Our third principle is that we are co-creators with God, creating reality through thoughts held in mind. So we truly do co-create our future, moment by moment, thought by thought. Principle number 4, through prayer and meditation, we align our hearts with God, with spirit, with divine mind, and we use denials and affirmations as tools. And the last principle is it's not enough to know these principles, but we must live them through our thoughts, words, and actions. We live the truth that we know. And we inspire others to make a positive difference in the world by being the change that we'd all like to see, being peaceful, loving, and doing our very best every day with every person that we meet to see the face of God in every individual. And by providing good fellowship and education for spiritual seekers of all walks of life, we can coexist in peace. We have some special announcements today. One is that the 2024 condo lottery is kicking off today. Hee-haw! We have tickets for sale. So in the fellowship hall, fellowship room after service, you will find I believe it's Renee is going to be sitting, but somebody will be sitting at a table just outside here waiting for you to pick up your tickets. So that for people that are new to the condo lottery, there's 10 tickets per package or per book. The tickets do sell for $25 each or 3 for $50. And so you'll pick up 1 or 2 or 3 or 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 packages. There's only 400 tickets, so you can't take any more than 40. But you're going to take those and talk to your friends, your family, or you can do what Chris did last year. You could also talk to Teresa Van Diepen, who has often, many years, been a top seller. But last year, I think Chris got the prize for the most tickets sold. No, but he was pretty close. And so I have a little, and there's copies of this on the table, but I'm going to read it to you because I think it's a brilliant idea and it makes it very easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So Chris sent a text to his contacts. So you could do the same. You could put it on Facebook, but that just says simply, we are selling tickets to a condo lottery to raise money for Unity Church of London. The winner will get a condo for a week on the river in Grand Bend and $500 spending money. Tickets are $25 each or 3 for $50. If interested, please e-transfer me the money. I will put your name on a ticket or tickets and send you a photo of the stub or stubs. Only 400 tickets to be sold. The draw is May 5th. My email address is, and I don't think it's XXXX, but that's where you put in your email address. Thank you and good luck. And so it's a really easy way. And certainly we found last year, years ago, we did really well with the Mexican condo lottery, but these days some people are a little bit leery about going to Mexico maybe, or they just, for whatever reason, but Grand Bend on the river for a week. And remember, there's kayaks, there's laundry facilities, but it's a great spot with a 3-bedroom, 4-bath, so you could bring some friends and family if you want, or you can just pretend like they don't exist and you can just have it all to yourself. But remember, your friends at Unity know you have it, but we won't know when you're taking it. So, you just sell them. And as you sell a ticket, you bring your money back, or as you sell a book, and regularly be handing in your tickets and your cash. And if you use the machine using either Visa, a credit card or a debit card, it's very important to put on your little, just like if you're using the machine for giving your tithe or your offering during the week, put your name on it. But then in this case, put condo lottery and how many tickets it's for, and maybe even your ticket numbers, just to make it easy for us to put all the numbers together at the end of the draw. And going to be another great fundraiser for us. And we're excited that one of us is going to win, right? Right. Okay. Meditation is returning. So we've had people asking us, we used to do meditation at 10 o'clock in the morning here in the sanctuary. Well, we seem to be still putting a few things together at 10 o'clock in the morning. So instead of here in what we would typically call the children's ministry, the room at the back, not the prayer room, but the other room, there will be meditation from 10 till 10:20, starting April the 7th. That would be next Sunday. So come a little early and go for meditation. Wednesday nights, the music nights continue. However, I gave you a clue last week. We're going to every week. Jim has so many people that want to play. So April the 3rd is the new Cumberland Band. It's the area's top bluegrass band. And April the 10th is Ladies of Song. So every other week it will be a mixture, kind of more like a jam. And then on the other opposite weeks, it will be a featured either band or soloists, or just bring $10. Come on out and have some fun. And now it is time to talk about prayer. So prayer with a prayer chaplain. Dawn is here in the house to pray with anyone that would like individual one-on-one prayer, and she will meet you in the prayer room. Or online, we have Wilda for those of you that are online on Zoom and you'd like some individual one-on-one prayer. Wilda is ready, willing, and able. I thought I saw a bunny rabbit. And guess what, Jim? You're back up.
mentioned that these two songs were demanding to be written this week. That does happen sometimes. They were also just a few minutes ago demanding to be sung. And I made a little bit of a mistake here because I sang the two songs together as one song. And well, that's not bad enough. I sang half of each song together. So I think because we have limited time, I'm not going to go back to the first one, but I am going to do the maybe I'm not. I honestly, gosh, I'm not. I don't know what I'm doing here. I really don't know what I'm doing. So I'm going to do we'll do the other one, and a little of this might be familiar. So I apologize for that. You know, it's a funny thing. For those of you who are not performers, it's a very strange thing when you get up and do what I do, because you don't, it's not like I'm talking to you now. I'm doing one thing. I'm talking to you, and I can focus on that. And as long as my tongue doesn't get in the way, I'll be fine. But when you're playing and singing, so now you've got to do this. You've got to sing. You've got to be in one part of your brain. You're listening. Am I in tune? I've got to hit those notes right. There's another part of your brain that's like play those chords and play that rhythm and do all that stuff. And then on top of that, I'm conscious of you folks being out there and the folks at home too. And if I want to do it right, don't want to make a mistake. And then of course my guitar does this funny little thing that it does there. We fix that. That's good. So there's all these things going on, and I was halfway into the second page before I realized that wasn't the song. Anyway. I just washed this guitar. I can't do a thing with it. The word has come and left his voice, and Easter marks the way. The word has told us everyone to rise above the clay, to realize the power within the spark of God we share. Resurrection is the key to climb the heavenly state. The word has come, he's kind and strong, the master of the night. The word dispels the darkness, says the bringer of the light. It happens when we realize just who we are by right. We're not God's children, but God's life keepers of his might. Shouted hallelujah and Hosanna all day long. He strew his path with petals, and their voices turned to song. A week before Golgotha, and the day that turned to night, the air was full of praise for the bringer of the light. Word has come, Hosanna, to the message that brings the promise of eternity. From every housetop rings, let the spark of God eternal in everybody say. The word is come, Hosanna, to the message that he brings. He knew that he would rise again, and that gift not his alone. Resurrection's more than flesh and blood and rolling back to stone. It speaks to the reality of who we're meant to be. We are God and he is us in everything we see. That message rings across the years, so some choose not to hear. They say it makes no difference now, the world is lost to fear. But the story lives in hearts and minds, and promises and prayers. The word is heard throughout the world, aloft on the air. Word has come, Hosanna, to the message that he brings. Promise of eternity from the everlasting way. Let's one God eternal. Everybody say, the word is come, Hosanna, to the message that he brings. And to the message that he brings, prophets of eternity from every house of God eternal, everybody sing. The word is come, Hosanna to the message that he brings. Hallelujah to the word. The word is come. Blessings to the word. The word is come. Hosanna to the word. The word is come. God and we are one. The word is come. Glory to the Lord. Thank you. I think those were the two right parts.
Thank you so much, Jim. Okay, so I just remembered this and I'm going to share it. So a couple of years ago, met some of Larry's friends for the first time, and they shared with us that one of their Sunday school teachers was away. So the minister was teaching the children one Sunday, and he said to them, "So what do you think that Jesus said when he rolled the stone away and came out of the cave?" And one little boy thought about it and he went, "Ta-da!" And I can see the picture that we have of the smiling Jesus. I could see Jesus doing that for sure. Now we get to the serious stuff. And it's not always really serious, but prayer. So Unity was founded over 130 years ago based on affirmative prayer. Charles and Myrtle Fillmore would get together with people after a Sunday service and talk about what the message meant. And I think that's when they started talking about practical Christianity. And then people would come to Myrtle for prayer, and she started writing prayers to answer letters that came in. And fast forward to when we have telephones, and today, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, you can call 1-800-NOW-PRAY, and you'll reach a divine being sitting in a wonderful, comfortable chair in a tower at Unity Village. And they're there to pray with anyone of any denomination, any faith, and to pray. And if you have people that you would, a person or a number of people that you would like additional prayer for, I suggest that you take a piece of paper up here at the front, put their names on that paper and put it in our prayer box so that we can pray for those people here for 30 days and then send it on to Silent Unity, where that purple person, those people will have additional prayer for. And so we'll get prepared for prayer now, just to come together. And so I invite you to become comfortable in your chair and close your eyes if you are comfortable doing so. And as you're taking a couple of nice deep breaths, realize that as you breathe in all the good that surrounds you. And as you exhale, you let go of what no longer serves you. And that includes letting go of the busyness of the morning. Maybe you had an Easter egg hunt before you came here. Or maybe you're thinking about the egg hunt you're going to do when you're finished at Unity. But together, let's just be here and now, feeling our hearts beating, and know that together our hearts are beating with the pulse of the universe, God's heartbeat. And today we hold in prayer not only all of our Unity of London members and our families and friends, but also Unity Kitchener and the Canadian licensed Unity teachers. And we hold in our prayer all spiritual gatherings that are happening today, for we know there are many paths to the one and only God. And we take a few moments and whisper into the silence the names of people that we would like to include in our prayer. And so today on this Easter Sunday, the day that we celebrate Jesus rising from the dead, we are reminded that we too can rise above the dead thoughts, the beliefs that we had about ourselves that are not true. We've come to know that we too have all the powers that Jesus had. For as our way shower, he did say, these things that I can do, you can do and more. And one of the biggest things we focus on is not only us, but we see all the people of the world loving one another, including what appears to be our enemies. For within each and every human being is the life force known as God, is the life force known as love. And as we allow the love in our hearts to grow, it emanates from us and spreads across the room, across London, across Ontario and Canada, and through all the world. And someone on the other side of the earth can feel our love, and they are warmed by this love, and they smile. And they may not know where it came from, but just like we're grateful that we can share it, they're grateful to receive it. And so it is, and so we let it be. Amen. And now we welcome Don Brigalow to come and do our reading from the Daily Word and introduce our speaker.
Good morning, all. Today's daily word is arise. I rise to accept new life and renewal. Jesus rose above all limitations, transcending darkness to light and death to new life. His overcoming death is the ultimate inspiration and example for humankind, a precious gift of hope and renewal. This Easter, I gratefully accept my renewal as I awaken to the call of the divine. I turn to the Christ presence within me and discover new life and energy, lifting me into higher awareness and understanding of spiritual truth. In so doing, I leave behind that which led me into bondage. I rise above limiting beliefs, habits, and actions. With unwavering faith, I rise to accept inspiring new possibilities and the fullness of God's glorious life, love, and grace. Blessed be the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ. By his great mercy, he has given us a new birth into a living hope through the resurrection of Jesus Christ from the dead. So it says in 1 Peter verses 1-3. Our speaker today is no stranger to us. She has been a devoted, happy member of Unity of London since 2012. When presenting, Pauline brings her ongoing lessons to us. She is the past president of our board of directors, a published author, trainer, and communications and positive living coach. With today's message, her very first Easter message, she tells me, it's called Fresh Eyes. Please join me in welcoming our beloved Pauline Duncan-Thrasher.
Thanks, Dawn. Thank you. Thank you very much, Dawn. Welcome, everybody, to Easter Sunday. Woo! I don't know about you, but I grew up in a very, very traditional Catholic upbringing where Easter Sunday at my churches had volumes of Easter lilies, lots of white cloth, incense, everybody dressed in white. I want to thank Kate who came in yesterday and we put up a white tablecloth in honor of Easter Sunday. But as all of us know, Easter Sunday goes way, way, way beyond the externals. It's about what's inside more than what's outside. I wanted to thank Jim because he brought to us today the musical, uplifting concept of resurrection. I did add one traditional photo. This was how an artist saw Jesus. One artist, one person's rendition of Jesus. Now, personally, when Kate and I came in, there was a picture of a blue-eyed Jesus, and I moved it way to the side. Because we know he probably didn't have blue eyes. Doesn't matter. I expect it matters to the people in the country from which Jesus came. That he was probably way darker in skin than any of us. But his heart was full of a radiance and a divine spirit. One Sunday, somebody stood up and they said, I'm going to give you the metaphysical aspect. And I thought, oh, please, please, that 5-syllable or 6-syllable word, I don't want to hear metaphysical. I just want to hear the regular story. However, I looked up my big, fat metaphysical dictionary, and in the beginning, I was so thrilled to see that the preface invited the reader to choose his or her own interpretation of the Bible. That means that every single one of you, in hearing about the resurrection, can take into your heart or your mind whatever you choose. Unity is not about us saying, this is the truth, only this. It's about us opening ourselves to the diverse faiths, backgrounds, beliefs of everybody who chooses to come here on a Sunday. I'm going to invite you to do something right now, just before I begin, only if you want to stand up and look toward the back. And then shift where you're standing so that you can get a view of everybody in the room. Yes, you can wave to Lorraine and Ned. And just take a good look all around the room. Look at everybody in our room. So you don't have to keep looking at the back. You can turn to the front now. But look around. Are we all the same? Absolutely not. We're different sizes, different backgrounds, different ages. But what do we have in common? We all have the potential, the wondrous potential to rise ourselves, to engage in resurrection, not just on Easter Sunday, on every single day. Some way our spirit can rise, maybe just a little teeny bit. And this message is about that. It's about how we can look at Jesus, who was a human, who gave us an example of rising above so much in his life that was horrible and nasty. He didn't just rise on Easter Sunday. His spirit rose every day. and your spirit can rise every day in some way. The raising of human mind from sense to spiritual consciousness, the quickening power of the Holy Spirit, that's whether you see it or not, it's there. The little impulses inside you that cause you to be kinder or a little more patient or a little more forgiving. Those are like little mini resurrections. Yes, this is about fresh eyes. The eyes to see yourself as you are. None of us is without fault. None of us is perfect. And Jesus had faults too. I was quite horrified when I heard that. I thought, no, he didn't. He was perfect. He was not. He was an example for us. An example for us too. Think of transcending our daily physical challenges, of rising above them, looking them in the face though. And how do we do that? The word I am was Myrtle Fillmore's very favorite affirmation. Just for 1 minute, I invite you to say in your head, I am. And then see what follows. I am a child of God. I am happy. Right now I'm feeling pretty depressed. I'm angry. I'm sad. I'm frustrated. Can be anything that follows the word I am. And that's okay. We recognize it. We accept it in ourselves. And we know that it doesn't have to be forever. That we can find a way to rise above it. And I wanted to go to the Lenten booklet because I was so totally impressed. There were only 3 of us, and for the whole week of Lent, I met online for a couple of hours every Wednesday with Wendy. And usually it was just Wendy, Alexandra from Victoria, Verna, who kept driving around, but she kept listening, and me. And then once Kate came in, but nobody else. And that was okay. Because the message was about letting go. And before we rise up, we have to let go. Now, a long, long time ago, Dan and I learned how to make bread. We had a bread machine. And we ended up giving it away because it seemed like too much work. But I know some of you are bakers. I know Dawn's a baker. And I know Nancy and probably many others. And you have to pound the bread. And then you put a cloth over it. You put it in a nice warm spot. And what happens? It starts to rise up. If you skip the steps, will it rise? Probably not. So week 1, Jesus lets go of human ego. What? Jesus had an ego? Of course he did. I let go. And when I say I, this is for all of you. I let go of limitation. I let go of stress, resistance, self-pity, anxiety, and pessimism. What do I replace it with? You replace it with the opposite. You replace it with that rising, leavening action. I let go of self-pity, and I start to feel grateful for everything I have. Does that rise you up? Oh, yes. That's a little mini resurrection. Week 2, Jesus lets go of others' approval. Oh boy, that is a hard one. When I stand up here to speak, maybe when Jim stands up to sing, but I can't speak for Jim, I want you to like what I say. I want you to appreciate the message. But it's not just that. It's that each of you will go away maybe taking your own interpretation. And it might be totally different from what I intended. That doesn't matter. What matters most is that in all of our interactions with each other, we interact not so people will like us. We interact so we can help. So we can give something. And if you're sitting there thinking, I don't have anything to give, oh yes, you do. What you give may be the opportunity for someone else to give you a helping hand. That might be your gift. And you might say, oh, that's not a gift. Oh, yes, it is. It for surely is. Because at some time, all of us have needed a helping hand. Right? You could just do a little nod. You don't have to shout or anything. But now you could shout, right? Right. We have all needed a helping hand. And sometimes we're too scared to put our hand out. We're just standing there saying like this, please help me. And we hope somebody will help us. And in that moment of us asking for help, we are giving somebody else a chance to rise up. And we are also, in our own way, rising up. I let go of grudges, let go of feeling overwhelmed, and I'll bet Jesus felt overwhelmed a lot of times when he saw all those angry faces looking at him, when he knew that he was trying to give a message that was not being received with approval. I let go of busyness. I let go of my fear of illness. Week 3, Jesus lets go of worry. How often do we worry? I let go of misunderstanding, outdated beliefs, perfectionism, darkness, indecision, and worry. What a big bundle that is to let go of. That would have us on the ground, covered up with black cloaks, feeling horrible. And even letting go of one of those, a little teeny bit at a time. Let go of one little bit of worry. I'll bet Jesus worried a lot. But he figured out ways to let go of it because he called upon the Spirit within. That divine presence that is always with us. You might not see it. There may be times when you might not even feel it. But I assure you, it is there. Somewhere within each of us. Maybe in our toe. Maybe feeling so far away. Somewhere within us is that capacity to rise above the worry and the indecision. Week 4, Jesus lets go of fear. Do you think he had no idea that he would be tortured and crucified? I mean, just thinking logically, he was going around talking about a government that was perverse. He was speaking up for what was right and good. He knew he had enemies. I'll bet he was filled with fear because he was doing the good, and the people who didn't want him to do that were going to squelch him. So Jesus let go of fear. We can let go of our fear. We can let go of criticism, discouragement, loneliness, struggle, and insecurity and competitiveness. Can we let go easily? Probably not. If we're immersed in that feeling of loneliness. And I think of the story of Jesus who wanted to go pray. He knew he was going to be, he probably figured it out. Eventually, people were going to come and grab him, his enemies. And his apostles all fell asleep. What friends were they? Do you ever feel as though your friends just kind of forgot about you? We look at Jesus' example, and he was able, although he probably felt pretty discouraged and lonely at the time, to rise above. And week 5, Jesus let go of being right. That was a surprise to me. Wasn't he always right? You have to take a look at the Lenten booklet and find out more. What can we let go of? Chaos. When inside our mind, it's just like a... Do you ever get that way? You think, I've got too much in my mind. Too much stuff. I've got to do this, this, and this. I know there's somebody in here who does this, and this, and manages to stand up here and sing and rouse us all. So we figured out how to organize the chaos. We let go of bitterness and fear, apathy, judgment. Who had more of a right to judge than Jesus? But he let it go. Week 6, Jesus let go of the outcome. I let go of doubt. I have to really work hard at that, doubting my own ability. I let go of drama. Oh, we want it to be a huge drama with us at the center of the stage. We let go of it. Negative thinking, anger, blame, fear of change. And what do we replace it with? We replace it with being real, honest, down to earth, frank with the people who love us, speaking what's on our mind even though it might hurt, and embracing change because it's part of life. And on Good Friday, Jesus let go of physical life. Death and darkness are never, never the last word. Charles defined affirmation as a positive, orderly statement of the truth. By affirming, we claim what is rightfully ours. And Easter Sunday is so glorious because we claim our right to rise. Whether it's a little rise above a bit of anger, or whether it's a bigger rise above whatever is bothering us. I don't know what's in everybody's head. I'm not a mind reader. And you aren't either. You don't know in this whole room of people who most needs you to reach out your hand and say, welcome. Some people in this room would be quite bothered if you reached out and gave them a big hug. Others love hugs. Figure it out. Because that's love. And Jesus was about love. I attended a Good Friday celebration, and it was all about Jesus' last words, the last 7 words. What did he say? Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. If he could say that, can't we forgive people for little, smaller things? And at the Last Supper, love as I have loved. The whole month of April will be devoted to love. You'll hear a lot about it each Sunday, but it's about how we act, not just how we speak. And these were some of the words that Jesus said. I am the bread of life. You are also the bread of life for someone or some people. You provide support, comfort, and love. And it's not just the bread that we talked about. You pound it down, let it rise. The nourishment. I am the good shepherd. We also have chances to be good shepherds, to show love, to rise above our own little pettiness. I am the light of the world. And I brought this candle, and did I bring a match? No. But it's symbolic. It's a candle of courage, that tall pink candle. And I invite you in the coming week, and even today, think about ways that you might be courageous. How your light of courage will light the light for others. Christ consciousness is about us growing in understanding and the Spirit of God rising within us, the Spirit of divine presence. When we're in alignment with God or divine presence, we become the expressions of perfect love. It's not just loving the people we know. That's easy. It's loving the clerk in the store. It's even trying to love the person who is trying to speed past you and you're going the speed limit. Being caring. Again, what is resurrection? It's us rising above everything we want to let go of. Easter Sunday is not just about Jesus and the tomb. It's about us. And that's what makes it so glorious. I have a little video that I found. This is from 1982 in Unity. So I think if I click it, it will show.
It is morning in my soul. No longer do I seek among the ashes of the past for something to live by today. Christ is risen in me. Hope springs to life. Mourning turns to rejoicing. Faith proclaims its victory. A new spirit is felt in my mind and heart. I enter into a world made new, into a life made new.
Just a little mini message from Unity. So I invite you now, if you feel comfortable, to close your eyes and we'll go into meditation. This little necklace that I'm wearing under my top from Dear Kate. we breathe in the stillness. We breathe in the quiet, positive, wondrous, transformative energy of today. Divine Spirit in the midst of us is substance. Divine Spirit in the midst of us is love. Divine Spirit in the midst of us is wisdom. On this Easter Sunday, we rejoice in our affirmation that we too can rise each day by letting go a little bit of something that's holding us down. And each time we let go of a little, we rise a bit higher. We get to choose how we interpret the resurrection. We get to choose how it can be meaningful in our lives. For the next few moments, I invite you just to continue to breathe in and breathe out. Feeling calm. You don't have to think about anything special at all. Just being still. Enjoying the next few moments. Being aware that you are surrounded in this room with love. With people who care. Without any agendas. And from Myrtle Fillmore, how to let God help you. The presence of God within me. And you can call God divine presence, divine spirit, divine love. The presence within me is my peace. From the center of my being, love flows through me, from me. Wisdom flows, prospering, guiding, and harmonizing all my concerns. When we're trying to listen, to understand, and to follow our divine guidance, we find that every wind that blows can fill us with a new spirit of wisdom and love. We savor each tiny moment. And so it is, and so we let it be. Amen.
Thank you so much, Pauline, for a great message that was, you could call it practical Christianity, you could call it metaphysical, or you could just call it Pauline's way. But and it really reminds me of Ricky Byers' song, I release, I let go, and I let Spirit run my life. And just letting go a little bit just opens you up for just a little bit more love, more grace, more of all the good things. Thank you again. And now we get to have Jim come up and do a song, half a song, all of a song, an old song, a new song. We just know it'll be a great song, Jim.
You know, every time it seems to me, put your glasses on. Oh, there they are. Every time I hear Pauline speak, I feel that she's speaking directly to me, because not only through what she says, and I need a lot of help, and I get a lot of help from Pauline, but there's always something in what she says that touches me, and she certainly did that today on a couple of different levels. I'm just going to take just a second here, and then I'm going to want to do that. The screw up earlier today robbed you of a few verses of that first song, because I didn't finish it. And I want to share them with you in a second, but Pauline talked about the interpretation, and it really struck me today, because I've had not a tough time the last few days, but I've had a very interesting time trying to come to grips personally with my interpretation of Easter and what it means, because I grew up in a traditional Christian background, and we know the literal story, and that was the story that was taught every Easter, and I'm old enough to remember when you got dressed up to go to church on Easter Sunday. I have a picture of me at home with my dad and I'm about 7 years old, and we both have trench coats and fedoras on, standing in front of the house getting ready to go to Christmas, or to Easter. Why keep saying that? To Easter. That would have been 1957, probably around there. Anyway, Pauline talked about that, the interpretation. So that's what I grew up with, that sense of it. But since I've become involved with Unity and have been kind of studying on my own, the metaphysical manifestations of the stories that I grew up, I just find them absolutely fascinating, and I find them very compelling for me too, which is why Carlin and I are come to Unity. Pauline, you talked about rising above the pettiness, and for me it's also rising above our baser natures. That's part of what Easter talks about. It gives us the opportunity to do that. So I just want to read a couple of the this will be very quick, the verses that you didn't hear from that first song. It said, we know that God's within us all and who we really are, the sinews of the universe, the power of the stars, that's us. Death holds no dominion, the light will show the way, the divine within us is what he used to fire the clay from which we were made. The future is arisen, the past has passed away, it's a blessing we've been given for each and every day. So for me now, having spent the last week working on music and words and thinking about that's kind of where I come down on the metaphysical side of it, and that's very consistent with the Unity teachings, of course. And Pauline mentioning that, talking about the different interpretations, fit right in with what I wanted to do for my last song today. And there's a tradition and this guitar is still doing that. I've got to get this fixed. Jack, remind me to get my guitar fixed, will you? Call me this week, and Jim, get your guitar fixed. I can fix it myself, I just have to do. Anyway, there is a tradition in the Western musical canon of songs, spoken word songs. And I've not done one here ever in Unity. In the years that I've been playing, I've never done one. But I'd like to do one today, on this very special day. And it ties in with what Pauline talked about and what I just said about me trying to find an interpretation. And I found there's more than one. There's a traditional one, of course, and there's a metaphysical one, and then there's another one. And we've heard a lot today about that. And in Unity, there's a core message, and I found this repeated as I went and did my research this week. There's a core message about the resurrection story. And it really, Jesus' final teaching, it's referred to in Unity literature, that the resurrection is Jesus' final teaching. And there's so much more to life than we have realized. Until we come to grips with the reality that we are in God and He is in us, every one of us, our lives are not fulfilled at all. And Jesus opened the door to that, showed us the way to that, which is why we refer to Him sometimes as the way shower. Everything He was, we are, just as He told us. God is part of us, we are part of God. And what a wonderful thought, isn't it? It's an amazing thought as we move into a new year, at least the year from Easter to Easter. But the resurrection also speaks to me about the fears we all have about dying, about leaving this world. Did it matter that I was here? Did I make any kind of a difference? Will anything of me remain here after I've gone ahead? Have I risen above my earthly bounds and ascended to that higher plane? Have I managed to do that? And if I have, did it mean anything to anyone but me? There's a song that I've sung many times, and you've heard me sing it here more than once, that addresses those questions. And I'd like to quote the chorus and what I believe the words represent. We rise again in the faces of our children. Not just our literal children, but in the sense that the children of mankind, the children of all of us, live on even after we have moved on, moved beyond. We rise again in the voices of our song. To me, this has a deeper meaning than just talking about us singing. That's a literal meaning, but to me, the song represents our lives. Each of us sings a song. Our life sings a song. And the voices of our lives, I believe, are the examples of we've set by the way we have lived those lives, singing our truth through our lives by being compassionate to those needing compassion, kind to those needing kindness, strong for those who need our strength, cheerful for those needing cheer, firm to those needing firmness, tranquil towards those needing tranquility, joyful to those needing joy, loving to those needing love, and above all, peaceful towards everyone. We rise again in the waves out on the ocean. I think that means that these lessons will be carried forward by those who follow, the children, mankind's children, the people who were touched by them, and who in turn will pass them along by their own example to generations yet to come. Like the waves out on the ocean, the ripples created by our lives will never cease moving forward. Always forward to a constantly renewed horizon. Through the songs of our lives, the examples we have set, we will, over and over, rise above and rise again. We rise again in the faces of our children. We rise again in the voices of our song. We rise again in the waves out on the ocean. Again, we rise again. You know the lyrics. Sing along. We rise again in the faces of our children. We rise again in the voices of our songs. We rise again in the waves out on the ocean. Then we rise again. Rise again in the faces of our children. We rise again in the voices of our song. We rise again in the waves out on the ocean. And then we rise again.
Thanks, Jim. And now we come to the time where we thank everyone for all the time and talents they've shared with us over this week, and that's going to be shared this coming week, and also our prosperity and the energy of money. We're truly blessed. So we have two beautiful young ladies taking any collection that people would like to offer today. And we certainly thank anyone that's new here in the building. I don't know that we have anybody brand new. Anybody here for the very first time? Robbie. Oh, yes. Welcome. We're grateful that you joined us. And if there's anybody new on Zoom or YouTube, we're grateful you checked us out as well. And we hope that you enjoyed yourself and you might return. And just like that, what you give multiplies and divides. Also, Lorraine, can you flip, please, to our blessing? Thank you. And together we bless our offering. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thanks, ladies. And we'll say our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds me. I am the light. The love of God enfolds me. I am the love. The power of God protects me. I am the power. And the presence of God watches over me. I am the presence. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. And the Spirit of London, yay, God. And now we'll gather and sing our peace song together. So as you go about this week, just let go and rise up. Rise up. Okay, let's see if we have anyone on Zoom that wants to say hi. Anyone in the room wants to make a comment on Pauline's talk? We have Amber.
Thanks.
center so they can see you. There you go, you're good there.
Okay. Pauline, can I